So another day at home with Ro, because she's still running a fever and coughing a lot, and she's got lots of issues with her, or lots of problems with her asthma, I'm afraid. And yeah, I feel really bad for her, but she's a good sport. She's good at taking her meds, and she also told me when she needs to have this inhaler, she's actually telling me about it. So it's good. She's really good with her meds. I said that so many times before, but she's awesome in all ways. And she's been playing hairdresser today. As you might tell, my hair is a bit messier or odder than normal, and yeah, this is me, a beautiful version of me. No makeup, no sleep, and messy hair. Almost clean clothes, but no, just almost. Anyway, it's something I thought about this with beauty also. Like, here in Sweden, almost all TV shows and films and so on we see comes from the United States. Some from England too, but most of them from the United States. A few really good series from Denmark too, but that's pretty much it. So I'm sorry if it's very American perspective on this, because we don't see much else. It's like Swedish movies, they suck. Swedish TV series, they suck. Danish ones are great, but few. English are some good, some bad. You never know. And then we have American ones, and they are so full of stereotypes, and especially when it comes to beauty. Because I don't get that really. Sorry, my throat is still really interesting. So, why we are so stuck in the patterns? Because if you look in TV series, and this I think is universal for what I've seen, like from Americans or English or France or Indian or Japanese or whatever, but you have those stereotypes, like you have this, if they are modern, you have a gay person, or most of the time it's a male, sometimes it's a woman, and in some extremely rare cases it's a trans person where you don't really know, but most of the time if it's a trans person, it's somebody born as a boy but wants to be a woman, and notice, wants to be a woman, because we always miss the concept of what actually transsexual are, and that you just are what you are, and maybe your body doesn't look like you are, but that's another thing, because brings me back to this, all this, but talking about people trying to label themselves and so on. But anyway, that's another thing. But we're talking stereotypes. Get that person, and when we get the exotic person, the exotic person could be, nowadays, most of the time, is a person of color. A little bit back, like in Friends and so on, was 2 series, it could be a person who was Jewish, because, that's exotic. Or not. But anyway, in a few cases it could be somebody with Asian, but Asian people are often represented as not exotic but very smart. Which I think, okay, it's nice to be stereotyped as somebody very smart, but it can be a bit boring also in a long time. And it's like my oldest pointed out, next oldest pointed out, it's always the person of color die first in the horror movies. That's like, it's always a nice person, but always one who die first of the inner group of people you get to know a little bit more and so on. Sad but true. And then we have the beautiful one, and the beautiful one is always a woman, and there are some certain look for her, and they all, if you can just put an image beside them, because sometimes they style differently. Like they have a stereotype for the bohemian one, and we have it for the mysterious one, and we have it for the girl next door type, and we have it for people, what do you call, upper class person and so on. But they do look the same, all of them. I mean, if somebody should be really, really wild and crazy, they put somebody with red hair as a beautiful one. Yeah, now we're really including all people. you have somebody to recognize and you bond with, and so on in the series, right? This annoys me so much. It's like, no. I mean, somebody like me would never enter a movie. I mean, I would never be the beautiful one in a movie, or anyone looking like me, like being overweight, in my 40s, having bad skin, having 4 kids with 4 different dads, and have really bad haircut. Maybe I could be like the before picture of somebody saving me and getting, you know, making me look like the stereotype of a beautiful person, but I'm too old for that. So, but if I was like 20, maybe, but with including me losing half of my weight and getting everything new, including some plastic surgery that nobody else ever talked about. Yeah, but almost at least. But you know, it annoys me so much, and I know it shouldn't annoy me because it's been this all the time since the beginning of film history, and I would say it's almost, or it is a part of the film culture, and it's something that belongs in film industry in the world, because it's something what they are made of, and it shouldn't annoy me as much, but it still does. And I actually think that is one of the reasons I don't watch that much movies anymore, because I feel like I've seen most of them. Sometimes it comes something completely new, and often they are really sad stories, and often very authentic stories and things like, I feel like, okay, I rather watch the news because they're shorter and I don't need to see all the details, and I can just feel horrified for 5 minutes when I go away, instead of torturing myself for 2.5 hours with something that are so authentic that I will not be able to sleep for a week or 2. So yeah. So if you have good film tips for me that does not including this, you know, stereotypes, and are not too brutally realistic in a way that including death of small children and war and things like that, give me a hint. I need something to watch. So another thing I don't think I told you before was that this Sunday was a really long and busy day. My friend brought me my stationary computer. It has been broken since 2011. Yeah, that's quite a long time. But he was able to save it, and not actually computer, but everything in the computer, and put it in a new other computer, which are fresh and nice and working and so on. So now this weekend I'm going to my parents and pick up this screen and some of the things I need to have for a computer. But by the end of this week I'm gonna have a stationary working computer. I will be able to type things and write things and storage all my videos and stuff in the computer, so I can do things with them. Don't have to deal with this phone all the time. And hopefully I will also get a webcam so I can do more, not just talking into a bathroom mirror videos, but more interesting things. It's gonna be great. Now I know that it won't work out as I think, and naturally I will have lots of issues with this computer before I get everything working, because that's how my life works. But it is within reach, and I think it's better to be happy about something before it happens than focusing on all the negative things you know is coming. I know it's coming, and I know it's going to take time, but I can do my best, and maybe I surprise myself and make everything work this Sunday. So let's see if I manage to do it. And if everything works out, I'm going to see my oldest daughter this weekend too, and her really, really lovely boyfriend. So that's going to be nice. I already bought them Christmas presents, so we can't break up now, because I bought Christmas presents which are for both of them, so we really need to stick together.